Have you ever noticed how you suddenly become a productivity guru the second your life starts hitting the fan? Suddenly, you're like the queen of journaling. You're setting boundaries like a pro. You're ready to flip your entire life upside down. But 2 weeks ago, friend, when you felt that little nudge that things were off, you didn't move an inch. And now you're sitting there staring at the ceiling, asking, why do I do this? Why do I wait until it actually hurts to finally care? Listen, if that's you, you are not alone. I've been there, my clients are there, and honestly, my group chat is there right now. For the longest time, I thought I just lacked discipline, but I was wrong. It's not a character flaw. In today's episode, we're exploring what's actually happening in your nervous system when you wait for the crisis to change and why it actually means your brain is doing exactly what it's built to do. But before we start today's episode, this is a very quick reminder. If you want to go deeper into this work outside of the podcast, I've created different resources for you. The first one is my book, She Who Aligns. If you have not explored it, I encourage you to just go to the link in the show notes and click it and explore it. It's a beautiful workbook and it's a guide that walks you through the early stages of alignment using my proprietary aligned framework. Plus, inside, you're going to find 4 bonuses for you. 3 guided audio practices that are going to help you, and a module on aligned manifestation. However, if you want more tools, because the She Who Aligns guide is a big 200 and plus pages, and you like to do things fragmented, you can check out my Etsy shop. I am slowly adding new reflection workbooks for you there. The links to both of those are going to be in the show notes so that you can explore further and choose which one works better at this stage of your life. All right, friend, let's get into today's episode and talk about why we change when it hurts. If you're tired of feeling stuck, disconnected, or held back by old beliefs, and you're ready to start living in alignment with your deepest values, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Michelle Marie, spiritual neurocoach, cancer survivor, and twin mompreneur. On Rewired to Align, I share the neuroscience and spiritual practices that help me transform my own life, guiding you to release limiting beliefs, rewire your mind, and step fully into your sovereignty. Are you ready to live in alignment with who you truly are? Let's rewire, align, and manifest. Hello, friend. Welcome back to Rewire to Align. Welcome to the podcast. My name is Michelle Marie, and I am your favorite neurospiritual alignment coach. And every week, we are here speaking about alignment, the coherence between your thoughts, your actions, your feelings, right? To create a life that is true to your authentic self. And before starting with today's topic, I want you to know that this is episode number 70, and it will be under the alignment category in the episode catalog, and you will find that in the show notes. If you are here for the very first time, I want to welcome beautiful soul. I hope you stay and you share this podcast with all your friends and family and that it serves you in your alignment journey. Okay, amiga, let's talk about why do we only change when it hurts, right? When shit hits the fan. This conversation, it's been following me lately because of all the planetary placements that are happening, because of the year of the snake and now the fire horse. I mean, it's come up in my coaching sessions. It's been the main character in my voice notes with some of my friends. I've seen it on TV. And honestly, it's been staring at me in my own mirror. It's that specific, frustrating pattern we all share. We all share this. We know a situation isn't working. We can feel the friction. We're fully aware of the red flags. But for some reason, we don't move. We don't move. We stay still. Then, when the crisis hits, and suddenly, when that happens, you're the motivated person in the room, right? Why do we wait? Why do we do that to ourselves? Why do we wait for the explosion before we finally decide to change? In today's episode, we're breaking down the mechanics of the wait until it hurts cycle. I'm not here to give you a lecture on willpower. That's not what we're doing. I'm here to show you what's happening in your brain and in your body when you are frozen. The goal today is simple. Move from shaming your patterns to understanding your system so that you can create more compassion towards yourself. After all, we are human and we are all in the same journey. I lived this more times than I can count. And honestly, it just showed up again not too long ago in my relationships, in my bank account, even in the way I was just, I don't know, living life, existing every day. Nothing was on fire because there was no big explosion, but you know that feeling, that humming in the back of your mind that says, this is not it. You feel it. You feel it in your gut, but it's not loud enough yet to make you actually move. And you sit there, right? You stay in the good enough because the great feels too far away. Or maybe you are fearful of the great, right? Or what might happen? Is it going to crumble? You have all these questions in your head. And I caught myself thinking, Michelle, you're a coach. I'm a coach. I literally do this for a living. I know better than this. But I still was not shifting, friend. I still wasn't. And then the pressure starts to bake, right? It builds in your chest, in your sleep, in your energy, until finally something clicks. Suddenly you're ready. You are super ready. But why? Why do we wait for the hurt to find the heal? Why do we wait until shit hits the fan, until we are pressured? Like if somebody is we are being pressured or somebody took us by the neck and put us against the wall. And the truth is, it isn't a glitch in your personality. It's actually just being human, amiga. Just being human. This happens to you, to me, to everybody. This is how we sometimes have to go through things. However, we're going to talk about why. Before we talk about how to break this cycle, we have to look at why it exists. And to do that, we have to talk about the one thing your brain cares about more than your happiness, more than your dreams, and definitely more than your potential. And that is what, friend, we've talked about it many times in the podcast. It's your safety. Your safety. And for your brain, safe has a very, very specific definition. It's familiar, predictable, known, even if what's familiar is actually poisoning you. Yes, your brain prefers the hell it knows over the heaven it hasn't met. So when you're in a situation that feels off but feels normal, what is your system going to do? It's going to stay. And it's not because you don't care or because you don't want to move forward. It's because to your nervous system, staying feels safer than changing. Now, here is where it gets interesting. Your system will tolerate a massive amount of discomfort up until a very specific tipping point. Let that land because I know that you have been there. I know I have been there. I have tolerated a massive amount of discomfort, a massive amount of frustration, right? A massive amount of disappointment, a massive amount of whatever it is, fill in the blank. The second the pain of staying the same becomes heavier than the fear of the unknown, boom, that's when you move. Now, I want you to explore that in your life and ask yourself, how many times have you been there? Or maybe you're there at this moment. I was there not so long ago. It's the push. I was pushed to the limit of the discomfort up until the pain of staying the same became heavier than the fear of the unknown. And then, boom, I decided to move forward. That's the moment the boundary finally drops. That's when the I'm done happens. And we tell ourselves, oh, I finally found my motivation. But you didn't. Your system just hit its threshold. Inside my Align framework, this is exactly what we're diagnosing. You have the awareness, right? You know, something's off, something's not working, you're kind of frustrated, disappointed, angry, but your identity and your nervous system are still anchored in the old you. And I want to show you how this works. Maybe we can think of it like a pressure cooker. This misalignment starts building emotionally, mentally, physically, energetically. It's tight, it's heavy. Eventually, your system can no longer hold that version of you. The pressure turns into pain, friend. And the pain, well, if it's a pressure cooker, what's going to happen? The pain forces the exit. Growth didn't come from the pain. The change became inevitable because the pressure of being out of alignment became unbearable. Again, the change became inevitable because the pressure of being out of alignment became unbearable. Your subconscious is not asking, is this better for me? It's asking, is this familiar? And if you don't disrupt the familiarity, you stay, you're going to stay. And alignment is what creates the safety to move before the breakdown. And if you want to look at this through a spiritual lens, we can look at it like this. Your higher self doesn't scream. It nudges, it whispers, right? It creates those tiny, subtle moments of, ugh. But if you ignore the whisper, what's usually happens is that life gets louder and the universe turns up the volume until you have to listen. That's why shit hits the fan. This is the explanation, but in spiritual terms. So I need you to hear this and I need it to land. You don't wait until it hurts because you're broken. You wait until it hurts because your system is brilliantly wired to protect what it knows. That familiarity, that safety. But here is the good news. You don't have to keep living at the mercy of crashing, right? You don't have to do that to yourself. And honestly, this is right here, the heart of the work. This is the biggest pattern I navigate with my clients inside my coaching and the Align framework. Because look, the goal is not to understand why you wait until it hurts. The goal is to build so much safety in your system that you can actually move before the breakdown. It's about learning to trust the whisper so you never have to survive the scream. Because honestly, and ask yourself this question, do you like that feeling when shit hits the fan? Do you like that? I don't like it. I truly dislike it a lot because then when we wait for that moment when it explodes, right? It becomes an explosion. Then you're not responding. You're reacting. You're reacting from fear. You're reacting from anger. You're reacting from disappointment, from frustration. So truly, you're not aligned. You're not making decisions that are in alignment with yourself. You're making probably decisions that you're going to regret after. So We have to have safety in our system so that we can move before everything breaks down. We have to have enough safety so that when our higher self talks to us, we are able to listen and respond accordingly. And this is exactly what we're going to be deconstructing and rebuilding inside the April workshop that I have mentioned to you. I just decided the day. It's April 22nd, and it's going to probably be at noon. And I'm going to put more details very soon in the website. What we're going to do there is that we're going to look at your specific thresholds and give your nervous system a new map for change. If you're listening to this right now and you realize you're already at that point, or you were at that point last week where the pressure is high and you're ready to shift these patterns now, I have two ways to support you. Number one is the She Who Aligns Guide. This is your foundation. This is for the woman who is ready to start auditing her alignment in real life today, now. And the second one is my one-on-one coaching. This is where we go deep. We get into your specific system, clear the subconscious blocks, and get you moving again. And for this, I only have 2 spaces for March open. So if you're interested, make sure that you DM me or that you apply for coaching. All the links for the guide and for the one-on-one container are going to be in the show notes. Beautiful soul, I want us to just sit with what we've clarified here for a second, because this is big and this is real life, and we go through it more times than we need to. We clarify that waiting until things hurt to finally change, it's not a character flaw, it's a pattern. We've looked at how your brain and your nervous system are brilliantly wired to keep you in what feels familiar, even when that familiar is actually holding you back. This is the truth, and it's hard to hear, but it is the truth. We've realized that awareness alone doesn't move the needle. It doesn't. You can be aware, you can read all the books, you can go to all the coaches, you can go to all the workshops. Awareness does not move the needle. Movement happens when your system can no longer tolerate the weight of being out of alignment. And now you understand the why. So instead of carrying that heavy question of what's wrong with me? Why do I keep doing the same thing through the rest of your week? I want you to start asking a much more powerful one. Where am I out of alignment, and what am I avoiding feeling? Where am I out of alignment, and what am I avoiding feeling? Because that question, that is the one that changes everything. It moves you out of the shame and puts you right back into the driver's seat of your own life. And journal about it, reflect on it. You can journal about it, and you're going to see that your higher self is going to give you the answers that you need. And I want to hear what's coming up for you as you sit with that. I love, love, love reading your comments over on YouTube, because remember that I am in YouTube too, and seeing your aha moments in my DMs on Instagram. You can find me at Michelle Mari Pacheco. But if you're looking for a space to actually process this in community with women who are walking this same path to alignment, then I want to invite you into Rewire to Align. This is our private Facebook community, and it was created for you to have a safe home base to share, to grow, and to hang out with other like-minded women. You can make friends there, so come and join us there. And all of those links are in the show notes for you. You want to come in to the Facebook community, you want to say hi and let us know you're there, and we can keep the conversation going right there. Amiga Bella, before I go, I want to leave you with this one final thought. You do not have to wait until things fall apart to choose yourself. Alignment is not about forcing change or pushing your way through a crisis. It's about creating so much safety within your own system that you can finally move before the pain has to do it for you. You have the power to listen to the whisper. That is your higher self speaking to you. You will create more connections. So take the pause, listen, connect, close your eyes, connect to your higher self. I'm sending you so much love this week, and I cannot wait to see you inside the April workshop. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I love creating it. If what you heard today resonated with you, the best way to support the show is by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts. Your feedback helps me continue creating content that empowers you and deepens your spiritual connection. Just scroll down to write a review and share your thoughts. And if you love what Rewired to Align is about, share it with your friends and family. I truly believe the world transforms when we come together to create positive change. I look forward to be with you again next week.